Hello, foundlings, and welcome back to A Tale of Remembrance. This is episode 4. I am Quentin, your GM here, and I am joined by none other.
Hi, it's me, Emily. I have my name right this time.
Good job, me!
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's you.
But no, I'm me. You're you.
No, you're you, I'm me. That's all a matter of perspective.
yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Well, hi. Like I said, I'm Emily. And in the past, I've played Snow, but today I'm playing Aurora, an elf who has lost her memories and isn't really sure exactly what's going on in the world. But honestly, at this point, it's survival of the fittest.
When last we left off, Aurora found herself in a carriage accompanied by her newfound compatriots, Sir Prescott and Harrison, and the most recently acquired Jonathan. Context of which there is little to none. Prescott and Harrison have been accompanying you, and you all are attempting to find both your memories and Prescott's lost niece, Claire. And in so doing, you found a tie to potentially both of these things in a memory you had pertaining to this carriage, and Jonathan was guarding said. So you are attempting to get some information out of him.
Yes, of course. And where is the wolf?
Well, you see, wolves, especially of large size categories, don't particularly fit too well in carriages. So he's kind of just trotting along beside the carriage.
I see.
This is a very antiquated carriage. It seems somewhat worn down, but sturdy and, in its heyday, quite luxurious. Though the seats are worn and tattered, you can see that there are curtains and even windows that you can look out through the carriage doors. But it is only a 4-seater, and there most certainly is no room for a large wolf that is about the size of a horse that is pulling the carriage.
Aurora is sitting there in silence, just observing the carriage. She's currently just thinking about what she's going to do next.
So the carriage is carrying you throughout the cityway, and you see the buildings as they pass by. You are more distracted with your own thoughts than your immediate surroundings, but everyone inside seems immensely uncomfortable, mostly due to the fact that Jonathan doesn't really know who these two other men are, and Sir Prescott is also confused as to why this person is coming with you as well. Harrison just looks jubilantly ignorant with a giant smile on his face at all times and is just happy that everyone's back together again. Miss Aurora, if you don't mind, who is this gentleman accompanying you exactly?
This is Jonathan.
Yes, I do the name is much appreciated. I do believe we saw him momentarily in the keep. The question less so, who is he, and more so, why is he here?
She's taking a long pause. Jonathan is here to accompany us, temporarily, for a short outing, so to speak. I would like to convey a hidden meaning.
Sure, of?
So to Prescott, basically saying he might have some information on the location of his niece. So I'll try and word it, but what would you like me to roll for that?
Well, okay, so I feel like that's bluff versus his sense motive. So you are attempting to arguably lie, but convey a message. So you would bluff, hope that Jonathan rolls low and Sir Prescott rolls high.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready.
Or maybe you just roll low.
11.
What do you say with your total 11?
I'm sorry. Now I'm panicked because I know that was a bad roll. Okay. I'll try to make this as poor as possible. I believe that Jonathan is very useful and may happen to have some information that we can discuss over dinner.
Prescott seems to nod in understanding of what you're trying to say. Meanwhile, Jonathan speaks up. Oh, well, I don't really know what I could know, but I mean, a dinner sounds great. Normally, I'm just stuck with a bunch of random guys, so having a lady in my company is really swell.
He's an idiot.
Do you say that out loud, too?
No, that was me. That was my voice. But
So you rolled a 5, he rolled a 3.
Oh my god, I got so lucky. Okay, I need to regain my own composure.
Also, you gotta understand, you're still a high-level character.
I only have a 6 in my bluff. It's
How
not that
much
high.
do you think this man has in sense motive?
0!
Very little.
Oh, as a guard, that's not good.
Who said he was a good guard?
She pauses, thinking about what he just said, and then she looks at Prescott. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he has any whatsoever.
Well, nonetheless, I'm sure that whatever we get into this evening, it will be quite exciting. As of right now, the carriage is directed to the Broken Wagon Inn, and I'm sure we shall all rendezvous there.
Perhaps that is not the best place to go. I believe Harrison.
Ah, yes, madam. What can I assist you with?
Could we potentially take over your space temporarily?
My space? And he just kind of like grasps his chest. Madam, well, I don't know exactly what your intentions are, but perhaps more of a public setting would be better than my space. And he kind of has a mental flash to the state of his room currently, which is entirely disheveled.
Oh, I'm sure it will be fine. She's not fazed by what he said. However, she did make note that he is very shy about his body, I guess.
Miss Aurora, if I may, what exactly do you intend on doing? The Broken Wagon Inn is relatively secluded. The only people who frequent there are its regular patrons, most of which only include myself. Also, if necessary, you do know that Matthew does have side rooms, much like your own that you are renting. If you did ever need to have any more private moments.
It might get a bit noisy. And she's referencing the spell that she's considering using, okay? This is not, okay?
Both Harrison and Prescott just exchange glances, and Jonathan looks excited. Oh, I'm used to being around a noisy bunch, but normally they aren't as pretty as you are.
I'm dying. I'm dying on the inside.
I mean, I can understand with all four of us being there how it could be a little noisy.
She smiles. Yes, you don't know the half of it.
Well, half of 4 is 2. I was pretty good at arithmetics.
She pauses, sort of thinking about what she said a moment ago at this point, realizing what that could mean. However, she continues with the thought.
Yes. And she thinks to herself, perhaps this boy is simple enough that I can just ask him here.
Oh, let's dispense with all these pleasantries, Jonathan, dear.
Pleasantries? Oh, I guess we're skipping the foreplay. What do you need? Right here? Right now?
She smirks a little.
Come now, Jonathan.
Behave yourself.
Madam, perhaps it would be best if you did do this behind closed doors. Preferably not, though, at my personal, abode, if you would.
It's not like that, Harrison. I have a question for you, Jonathan.
You better ask it, or I'm gonna just answer.
Okay.
You better ask a question, or
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
just say 5 inches.
No. Okay, she says, I saw that you were outside of a wagon that recently came into town. Do you know what it was carrying?
We transport people. Think of it like a carriage driver, but like more like mass transit.
What exactly does that mean, Jonathan?
We transport a lot of people. I'm like the cargo guard. Sometimes it's things too.
She thinks for a moment and then carefully chooses her words.
Then tell me, where are those people now?
Well, a lot of them are residing in the keep, but honestly, I don't really know where things end up. We get carts coming in from outside the city, then I transport things to the keep, and then everything's kind of distributed from there.
Where in the keep?
You saw where my wagon was.
So the cart stays there. But where do the people go?
Around. I mean, it's wherever they want, I guess. I don't get paid to ask questions.
Sense motive, please.
Sure.
16.
You can tell that he's definitely withholding some information, as if he is telling a half-truth.
Okay. She leans in towards him and takes her hand, brushing it under his chin. Oh, Jonathan, I thought that perhaps you were simple, but it seems that I've misjudged you slightly. My dear,
Listen to me. I will reward you greatly for this information. I just need you to tell me where they take these people.
You notice the visible distress on Jonathan's face, and you notice as he's actually grasping and like rubbing his left sleeve on his forearm as well. He seems to be sweating and almost flinching in some form of pain. And as this intrigue builds, the cart stops, and you have arrived at your destination, whether you liked it or not, the Broken Wagon Inn. Oh, well, we're here now. I guess we'll get to chat more over dinner.
Wolf, guard the door.
So your wolf does curtail his way around the side of the door. Jonathan does attempt to hurriedly make his way out of the carriage, turning the knob, pushing the door open, only to see your wolf greeting him, snarling ferociously. Prescott Harrison, was it? Are you familiar with this rather large dog? Could we? I thought we were going to a tavern with, like, ale and such.
Jonathan, come, sit down.
I think it would make me a lot more comfortable if maybe we had tonight's outings in a more public area.
Jonathan, I can guarantee your safety.
I don't think anyone can guarantee that.
She indicates to the wolf to essentially intimidate him.
Roll intimidate for the wolf.
Not high enough. The total is going to be 9.
While your pet is very large, I will say that there are some things which I have faced far more scary. You understand, I am a cargo guard, and he kind of puts his hand on his sword and kind of looks up to the side, attempting to appear heroic.
Fine, Jonathan. And she softens her face slightly.
Would you like some ale?
I would love some. I feel like that would take the edge off.
All right, very well, Prescott. Let's deal with this your way, then.
Finally. Jonathan, if you would, please follow me. I think you will find your future environment to be significantly more hospitable.
And she kind of mumbles under her breath, not worth the spell.
And Prescott kind of motions towards the door, and you do see as your wolf kind of steps away, understanding, having this emotional bond to you, he kind of gauges the atmosphere and withdrawals from his position guarding the door. Jonathan, accompanied by Sir Prescott, make their way out, and then Harrison seems to be waiting for you to leave. After you, Miss Aurora.
Thank you, Harrison. Hopefully we can figure out some information. And she'll begin walking out from the carriage.
Followed by Harrison, you hear as the carriage door closes and you all begin and enter the Broken Wagon Inn. Once again, it is less than lively in here. As Sir Prescott noted, he is but pretty much the only regular patron to the establishment. Most other people really can't afford to be going out and buying goods or services, or even having the added expenditure of ale at this time. So the only other person here would be Matthew behind the counter.
Aurora will walk in. She'll let the wolf in too.
You notice that no one else is fazed by this, as this has occurred before them before, with the exception, of course, of Jonathan, who was very much hoping that the rather large beastie would stay outside. A very quaint establishment that you have chosen here, Miss Aurora.
Wasn't my first choice.
Yes, apparently your first choice was my abode. Don't particularly know what you were planning on getting into there, but I think, Jonathan, you will find the Broken Wagon Inn much more hospitable, though maybe not lively. Matthew is a wonderful caretaker.
Yes, Matthew is quite excellent. She pauses, trying to think of what she's eaten here. The bread is quite excellent.
Well, thank you for raving on about my cuisine, even if it is only the baked goods. But, welcome. This is the busiest I've had it in quite some while. What can I do you for? The largest container of the strongest ale that you have, please.
Yes, Matthew, please. And she gives this sort of creepyish smile, but she's thinking in her head, I don't really want to get Matthew involved in this. Here, I don't even want to be involved in yet. Here I am.
Prescott speaks up to Matthew.
You know the wine that I prefer, Matthew. Just a water for me, Matthew, thank you.
You all find yourself situating yourselves at a nearby table, waiting for Matthew to bring out your orders.
So Aurora will basically use her feminine wiles and charms to help Jonathan relax a little more. And she'll say, I'm sorry for the way I acted in the wagon. I don't know what came over me. I feel so strongly about when people come from nowhere and we don't know who they are.
Roll diplomacy.
20.
Fair enough, though. I don't possibly know what you could be referring to.
Of course, yes, you don't know what we're talking about. You're so sweet. And she sort of starts like inching closer to him, scooting a little bit closer, and cuddles up to his arm a little bit and like pets his head.
Greatly appreciated. My mother always said that as long as you're true to yourself and kind to others, that eventually you'll get a keeper.
Interesting. My mother told me the same thing.
Aurora looks around, looking for Matthew with the ale.
It appears as if he has had to walk into the back room for some reason, and you do hear the shuffling of bottles or large casks, even as if he's attempting to reach something.
Wolf, go see if you can help him.
You see as the wolf paces slowly around you and then eventually behind the bar, and then pushes open the saloon doors and kind of walks back into the area. But moments later, it is followed by a very gruff and the sound of something crashing, breaking, and liquid spilling all over the floor.
What happened, Wolf?
Fall.
That's what I thought. Help the man.
You hear a bunch of hurried shouting, followed by some snarling and growling.
Get out of here. Out. No. I can't have an animal back here.
Wolf, be friendly.
No. I don't lick it up off the ground. That's not helping anything. I can't have an animal back where the food supplies are.
A long period of time passes with some very awkward exchanges at the table you are currently sat at, but eventually Matthew does appear with 4 glasses in hand. He hands, as requested, a very large, seemingly greater than a pint of ale to Jonathan, a glass of water to Matthew, and some cup to Sir Prescott, which seems as if it is of a higher quality. It's not made of wood. It is actually somewhat of like a bronze metal. And he hands a similar cup to you.
I figured you would probably like the finer shelf.
She smiles. Thank you, Matthew. I hope you're getting along with the wolf.
I had a dog once. Note how I don't have one anymore. But
What does that mean?
I will say, while I didn't mind him staying in the main lobby area and in your personal room, if you could please keep him out of the kitchen.
Where is Wolf? Right now. Is he still in the kitchen?
It seems as if he has followed Matthew back out and he's kind of licking his jowls, but he seems to be swaying slightly.
I see. She kind of stifles a little bit of a laugh.
Roll sense motive on your wolf.
He's my familiar.
Okay, wait, no, that's a good point. You have an emotional bond with this creature, and you can sense that he is immensely woozy as he lapped up a lot of whatever content fell in the back portion of a tavern.
Yum.
She just thinks to the wolf, good for you.
And he kind of like shakily tries to walk away and lay down, but almost seems to sway and fall over until eventually he kind of catches himself with his hind leg and just sits where he was about to fall and then lays down behind your chair.
And she thinks to the wolf, you better get over that very quickly.
So a very lively crowd we have here. I always enjoyed a good party. Normally they're a bit bigger than this, but this is nice.
Well, of course. And she starts like encouraging him to drink. And like during the entire time, she will keep signaling to Matthew to bring more for him if he runs out.
Oh, this man is barely able to finish half the pint that he
Beautiful.
ordered. He did ask for the largest container of the strongest stuff. So he is barely able to hold down his ale at this point.
Okay, so does he seem really tipsy and woozy, not really paying much attention right now?
He definitely does seem more aloof than he was previously.
So Aurora leans in to the table towards Prescott and Harrison. So, did you hear what he said in the wagon earlier?
Well, I was present, and it is difficult to not hear open conversations.
That's not what I meant. Did you understand the conversation, Prescott?
Madam, I have been an advisor to bureaucrats in political landscapes for about as long as you've presumably been alive. It is somewhat my profession in order to comprehend these matters.
Excellent. So you understand your niece may already be here, but in the keep.
I do understand what was potentially insinuated. However, this is no concrete evidence.
Then ask him. That's what we brought him here for. He may be a useless lout overall, but he may have seen something.
Prescott kind of leans back and then seems to ruffle through his jacket pocket before he manifests a locket and unclasps it, revealing a picture of his niece Claire, and then proceeds to show it to Jonathan. Jonathan, have you ever encountered, during your many transports, any of the passengers appearing as such? You're gonna have to put that in simpler terms.
It's simple. Have you seen this woman?
No, she looks pretty, though.
I see.
I gotta say, well, I mean, maybe. She's got curly blonde hair. She looks really small. We get a lot of people like that, I gotta be honest.
What do you get them for?
Well, you know, we're just moving people around. Much like the carriage we rode in earlier, except, like, more of them.
But why are you bringing them into this city?
Someone wants them, I guess. They're probably like, what if they want to be here? You don't know.
I see. Jonathan, does it seem that they want to be here? From what you've seen, my dear.
Ha 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 ha. And you see as he grasps at his left arm again and
She grabs for it. She reaches and grabs at his arm.
roll grapple.
My roll was actually really good. 20.
You do manage to grab his left wrist, but it seems as if he's kind of like pulling away from you and is using his right arm to cover his sleeve very tightly and is attempting to get you to let him go.
Jonathan, are you under some sort of compulsion?
Only thing that's compelling me is you people.
Are you in trouble, Jonathan? Blink twice for yes and once for no.
The only thing that would get me in trouble is if this conversation kept going.
I see. Can I use detect magic?
Sure.
Obviously, it'll be the aura around the room, but I'm looking more directly at what's going on the arm.
You do detect a moderately strong aura present on his left forearm.
School of Magic?
I would need you to roll a knowledge arcana check for that.
22.
You can tell that this spell is of the enchantment compulsion school.
As I thought. She pushes his arm to the side and then settles back down in her seat before directing her gaze at Prescott. He is under some sort of compulsion. He can't answer most of our questions. Unless we removed the arm.
I would really like to keep my arm, I really gotta tell you.
Unless you know someone, Prescott, who can break enchantments of this type.
I wouldn't go so far as to amputate an individual over information. Jonathan, you have already been so incredibly helpful. If there is anything else that you could share with us, perhaps, Miss Aurora, we should try rephrasing our questions.
Very well. She thinks for a moment, trying to figure out how to rephrase to get around a compulsion. Let's use an example. Jonathan, let's say that King John is bringing people from out of the country. And, well, those people aren't coming here willingly. Does that sound familiar?
I mean, sure, there are plenty of places that have things that happen like that.
I'm not very good at the specifics.
Let me try one, Miss Aurora. Jonathan, earlier you mentioned your work is transporting people. You said they come from outside of the city. Where is it exactly that you generally receive people from? I gotta be honest. I'm inside a hooded wagon watching over all the passengers, making sure that they don't start anything. I don't really see where people come or go from.
That's not very helpful. All right. I prefer my way, which is very direct. But these political games are for you, Prescott. I don't know what you want me to ask. I've only gotten you enough information to figure out where your niece could be potentially held.
Jonathan, you mentioned that you don't see where people come and go from. Do you notice anything else on your carriage rides? Anything familiar? All I know is sometimes it's even during the summer, it seems like it gets cooler. Sounds kind of get echoey.
Now, is this where people are dropped off, or is this where you pick them up and they come into the wagon?
It's generally when we get new passengers and a new transport comes in.
So probably a nearby cave. All right. A cavern. Something like that.
Well, there are no caves, seeing as we are in flatlands. If he's picking individuals up inside the city, perhaps you are correct about it being underground, but it wouldn't be any natural formation.
Magical, to say the least.
Miss Aurora, why is it that you say he's under some form of compulsion?
She gestures towards his left arm. I can feel the magic coming from his arm whenever he seems to get too close to saying something or is asked a particular question. She looks at Jonathan. You seem to react in such pain.
No. Of course I'm enjoying my time. Speaking of which, look at the time. I think I probably best get going.
Jonathan.
Yes? You kind of catch him as he is in the middle of standing up from his chair.
If you feel that there is something wrong in this city, and there's something that you don't like going on, come and talk to us. And we'll help you, Jonathan. We're here for you. And for the people of this city. We can only take action if we know what's going on.
Roll a perception check as he is standing up.
12.
You notice, as Jonathan is getting up, you notice that he just seems to appear to be a very average person. Man of average height, medium length, shaggy brown hair, green eyes, and he's just wearing a brown leather armor over his cream tunic. And you also make note of the very shiny short sword at his waist, which he was grasping at before. It is so clean, in fact, that it has probably never really been used. Other than that, he is an overall underwhelming and very mundane individual, as he seems to kind of walk off, and as he gets to the door, he kind of just stares blankly, not really sure where he is. But perhaps I should escort him back to the keep.
Keep an eye on him, Harrison. We don't know who he's working for and who might be on the other end of this compulsion. He might do something stupid.
Harrison gets up and follows after Jonathan, and you see them briefly talking as Harrison begins to point out the direction towards the keep and walks off with him.
Well, Prescott, what are your thoughts?
Well, I did too notice the magical signature on his left arm. Perhaps that is something we should have investigated further.
I would have, but we're in a more public setting, and I'd rather not cause the man more pain at this point. Unless you'd rather I would.
All I am stating is that Matthew is willing to turn a blind eye for a good cause. Has never really been too fond of those who guard the keep. And more so, we are the only patrons here.
It is true. However, are you sure you want to get Matthew involved in that?
Matthew has always expressed an interest in aiding me, and as well, for he knew Claire very well.
Perhaps, Prescott, Jonathan will be more willing to aid us I don't know. I might have intimidated him too much, but hopefully the last things we said did reach him. There is something very wrong in your city.
Indeed there is. Unfortunately, I do not know what side of those matters that Jonathan lies on, for I must say I have been around these parts for quite some time, and his face is not too familiar to me.
He is an ignorant child who's probably been brought here in a similar manner. More than likely, the people being brought through the carriages are being trained as soldiers for some reason or another. Although I don't know what they would do with women, I'd rather not think about it.
As the evening is coming to an end, there's less natural light pouring in, and Matthew is beginning to light a fire. As he's doing so, you hear a knocking at the door. But no one enters.
Aurora looks over at the wolf. Wolf.
The wolf kind of groggily stands up, kind of swaying from side to side.
Oh dear, look at you. She gets up from the table and walks over to him and seems to pet him a little bit. I believe that might be our ride. Prescott, I will see you later.
I bid you adieu, Miss Aurora. Hopefully you have a productive and safe evening.
She pauses. If I don't return, be careful. That, Draken fellow. He seems dangerous. Hopefully, I'll be back soon. And she begins to walk out the door.
Greeting you on the other side of the door as it opens is a well-dressed elderly gentleman. He has combed back gray hair and he's wearing a well-fitted tailcoat, as well as a monocle. He both cordially and formally addresses you. Good evening, Miss Aurora. I've been sent to request your presence at the private banquet which you were previously invited to this evening. I shall be acting as your chauffeur.
She looks around, seeing if there's something she's supposed to go into.
You do notice that there is a very polished and refined stained black wooden carriage drawn by two large horses. There is no form of insignia or emblem on this carriage. The gentleman then walks and stands beside the door of the carriage and is waiting for you. If you need a moment to gather your things, I shall be right here. Edgewise, I am ready to depart at a moment's notice.
Aurora then looks at the carriage, assessing its size in comparison to her wolf, and then she says, I'm not sure you'll fit inside.
As the chauffeur opens the door of the carriage, you actually see that there is surprisingly ample room inside. Proudly and almost in obstinance, the wolf climbs into the vehicle and sits on a bench on the left-hand side, although his forelegs are still resting on the floor of the vehicle.
She also climbs inside and then takes a seat on the opposite bench. Aurora looks warily to the side at the chauffeur guy and waits for the door to close before she says anything.
Before the gentleman closes the door, he does make mention of something. If you find yourself wanting to change into some more formal evening attire, you will find that a dress was provided for you, and it is the box sitting next to you on your seat. And he will go and close his door.
She's going to wait a second, make sure the door is really closed before she goes looking inside of the box.
Directly to your left, you notice that there is a rectangular box with a red ribbon wrapped all around it on the outside.
She'll open it, being very careful to untie the ribbon gingerly.
Carefully handling the contents, Aurora, you find a very long, elegant black lace dress.
So, this is his taste. I suppose we can accommodate our host. Very well.
And she'll change into the dress, which technically she already had a black one up in her room at the Broken Wagon Inn.
That was more like a slip or a nightgown than a full dress.
Gotcha.
After some time, the wolf adjusts himself and is now currently asleep on the floor of the carriage.
She'll sit back down after changing, and during the ride, she's thinking about what Draken could want with her and what she should ask, or rather how she should act, since he seemed to be somewhat of a threat. Like, should she continue to feign ignorance or reveal that she actually recognizes him, that sort of thing.
After preparing yourself more so and settling back down, you begin to take more notice of your surroundings. Your eyes gaze towards the window, but you see only yourself reflected back. Similar to the outside of the carriage, you noticed that these windows are dark, tinted, reflective material. You couldn't make the inside of the carriage from the outside, and you are surprised to see that the same material is keeping you from seeing the outside now that you are in it. All you can see is a tinted black reflection of yourself.
She taps on the window. Does it feel like glass, or is it some other weird material?
It seems like it is glass-esque in material, yes.
Feeling a bit concerned, she attempts to open the carriage door.
You lean over from your seat, past the wolf, and begin to grasp the handle, but as you attempt to open the door, you are met with resistance. It would appear as if the door is locked.
She smiles nervously and then quietly laughs. So, I'm not supposed to know where I'm going. Or rather, I'm not supposed to escape. She'll settle back down into her seat and closes her eyes, hoping that she can maybe feel the direction the carriage is going. Maybe memorize the path in case she needs to escape.
For me, then, please roll a perception check.
22.
Interestingly enough, there don't seem to be any sharp turns, but rather gradual curves. Nothing as if you were making a turn down a street corner or alleyway, but the most notable thing is the ever so gradual decline in your general movement. You begin to feel a similar headache and ear pain that could be associated with a change in altitude.
Well, Wolf, I'm concerned we may have willingly walked into a trap, if this is the location that Jonathan was describing. Of course, I doubt our host provides his guests with such attire normally.
And then she looks down at the dress she's wearing and back over at the wolf, who's probably still asleep on the floor.
Be on guard.
He looks up lackadaisically at you before once again resting his head on the carriage floor. But just as suddenly as your carriage ride began, it appears as if it is already coming to a stop. But moments later, the carriage door is then opened by the chauffeur. Although the opening of this door did not really reveal much, staring out into your new surroundings, you find that it is eerily dark. It appears as if you are in somewhat of an open but not well-lit corridor, except for two sconces which are outside of a door carved into a cave-like wall that is a few steps away from the carriage.
Tell me, chauffeur,
Yes, madame.
where are we?
We're at the location of your invited banquet.
No, I mean, where have you brought me? More specifically, if I'm going to go any further into a deep, dark, underground location, then I need to know where. My safety is of the utmost importance.
I couldn't agree more, madame, and I can guarantee your safety for this evening. All of your questions and more shall be answered if you ask the Master Dragon.
She sighs heavily and is very annoyed. Go, Wolf.
The wolf pops up, though he is groggy as he climbs out from the carriage and onto the ground of this corridor. He sits by the door, waiting for you.
She steps out from the carriage and then places her hand on the wolf's side. And actually, she's grasping onto his fur as they walk forward.
So, you begin to approach this dark-stained wooden door that has a silver handle. Though, looking back for a moment, you see that the chauffeur nods at you. You turn around as if to enter the door, but then an uncomfortable sensation appears from behind you. Turning around to your only known exit one last time, you take notice that the man and the carriage are no longer there. All you are left with is the dark corridor and this single door before you.
Yeah, she takes another deep breath, trying to keep her demeanor cool and calm.
Wolf, see if you can find where that man went.
The wolf, at your behest, takes leave of your side and approaches the last spot where the carriage was. He sniffs around and paces a bit before he walks up to a wall of sorts, and then you only seem to get one response from him. Gone.
Well, that's not good, Wolf. We could be in danger here. Be on alert. I don't trust this man.
Come. And then she'll start moving towards the door again, although she'll wait for the wolf to catch up before she goes to enter.
The wolf, sensing your intentions, quickly makes his way back to your side. Having no way to move but forward, you open the door. Smooth and seamlessly, the barrier of this door reveals an elegant banquet hall. You notice that it has tall ceilings and is lit by multiple sconces, as well as a massive crystal chandelier at the center of the room.
She walks in, and she'll keep her hand on the wolf's side, of course, feeling immensely nervous, and she tries to keep that hidden from her face, though.
Entering your auspicious location, you are greeted by your host. Greetings, Miss Aurora. Glad you could join us. But please, don't tarry. You are, after all, the guest of honor for this evening.
And the only guest, it would seem.
So, in such an instance, make yourself at home.
She looks around and scoffs. Much less a home than a pretty cage.
It is but one of many rooms in my facilities, and I assure you, it is no cage. Turning back towards the direction of his voice, you see the younger gentleman from the Baron's consult, Draken. He is dressed in a slightly different outfit, however, still a tailcoat, but it seems to be made of a sort of black silk. He's now in a red vestment, white shirt, and a matching red tie as well. Pardon the mysticism of your transport, but you must understand that discretion is of the utmost importance. It's not difficult to comprehend that there are many precautions a man of my stature must take. I assure you I have no shortage of enemies.
Somehow, I'm not surprised. Hopefully, you don't make me one of them. And she'll flash him a fake smile.
Certainly, it is not my intention with this evening. Please, sit. He walks over to a chair, of which there are only two of at either end of this very long table, and he pulls it out and gestures for you to sit. Laid out before you is a very extravagant feast, with numerous meats, vegetables, even fruits and desserts. It seems as if there is a 5-course meal that could easily sit and feed dozens of people, but there are only chairs for the two of you.
Aurora thinks to the wolf, "Do not let him get near me. I don't trust him." And then she'll step forward towards the chair, but she'll stop and wait, just shy a few feet from it to see if he leaves.
It appears as if he is waiting for you.
Am I supposed to be seated? Are you going to lurk there all evening?
It would be improper of me as a court gentleman to not show good manners, wouldn't it? But, as you wish. He takes somewhat of a quarter bow and steps aside, snarkily smirking to himself as he makes his way towards the other end of the table.
After he moves, then she'll go over to the seat, and she'll sit down. But she'll leave the chair away from the table still.
Taking a seat in the chair, you notice that it is made of a dark-stained wood, complementing the wood lining of the hall and the door you even entered. It has a comfortable plush red velvet cushion which gives you a slight boost of height so you can comfortably see the other side of the table where your host is now situating himself.
She'll continue to sit and observe him, avoiding looking at the food since she really hasn't eaten much today.
Draken seems to be adjusting his tie before casually looking up in your direction. Seeing you do nothing, he seems to chuckle to himself gently. Come now, don't be shy. I'm sure the Broken Wagon Inn can't provide such a banquet of this esteem. Though I do know Matthew is renowned for some of his ales, you don't strike me as one who imbibes the liquor.
I'm not hungry. I've already eaten.
Fortitude save.
And a bluff, because I'm totally lying.
Most certainly. Both, please.
All right, 22 for the bluff.
And the fortitude save?
18. Not today, Satan.
Dink. Draken sighs and seems to slouch back deep into his seat. A pity. And here I had all of this laid out just for you. You notice that he grasps at a jeweled golden goblet by his side, to which you have a similar one near you, and he flicks the rim of it twice. And as it lets out a metallic ring, you can hear the pitch of it change. He then picks up the glass and begins drinking.
She blinks slowly while taking in a deep breath again. This is just Lamaze breathing. Nice, deep, relaxing, meditative breathing, calming. She waits for him to finish before speaking.
You seem to be waiting a while, because he's downing the entire contents of his goblet before letting out quite a satisfied exhale.
Why have you asked for me to come here?
Draken, placing his goblet back on the table. I must say, most of the other dinner guests just aren't nearly as exciting or ravishing as yourself.
Other dinner guests? You mean you've dragged others here to your little underground lair?
Dragged? No, but I am a man who likes to entertain. Though I felt like you would be a much more engaging partner for conversation.
And I suppose I'm not meeting that expectation yet. What conversation could I even offer you?
Foremost, out of curiosity, what brings you into town? You certainly stand out, and I can tell that you're not from around here.
She responds, remembering something that Prescott said. I'm from a nearby elven village, on a short journey.
Roll bluff, as you and I both very well know it's a lie.
Does she know it's a lie? Who knows? 22. Again.
Come now. You can drop the talking points that you've been fed. What's the purpose of you coming here of all places at a time like this?
To this dinner?
Sure. At least that'll be a starting point.
I was invited here. And because, of course, you seem like such a great person to have company with. And she'll flash him this meager sort of smile.
Roll bluff.
22.
Draken leans forward, now resting his forearms on the table. He lets out a heavy sigh. Flattery, while very sweet to the ear, does not do much to nourish conversation. Let me start again. My informants have shared with me that you don't seem to recall very much. Perhaps that's why you don't have a particular objective in mind, except that which has been given to you by others. I hear that you're one who has lost her memories.
Aurora looks at him haughtily and also furrows her brow. She's trying to hide her discomfort with this discussion. But your informants would be wrong. Perhaps you have the wrong person.
With a wide, toothy grin, he looks almost knowingly at you. I don't think they are, and I don't think I do.
Regardless of what your informants tell you, couldn't it be that there is a simple misunderstanding? After all, a simple ruse to convince people that you are incapable is easy. And with that simple trick, they'll do anything to help you. It's more fun that way.
Roll bluff for the first half, as I agree that you would believe the second half of your statement.
Yeah, we've reached a point where Aurora has decided she's not going to tell Draken that she recognizes him at all. He seems dangerous, and also he's irritating. And 25.
With visible frustration, your host once again slouches in his chair, resting his head in his hand. All right, we'll run with the story then. Some elven girl from a quaint little village to the east come all this way. For what exactly?
I don't see what my past or my purpose has to do with you. But if you must know, and she looks off to the side, attempting to make a longing expression, an escape from monotony. And she'll flick her eyes back over in his direction, hoping that she's sown some sort of doubt in his mind. She does not like feeling out of control, especially in the situation that she's in right now.
As you glance quickly towards your host, you think you caught a slight smile on his face, but it returns to an exasperated and serious tone rather quickly. Well, I can assure you that there are few more exciting places than here and now. The question is, then, why waste your time with such trivial matters as Sir Prescott, when you could clearly accomplish so much more?
What do you mean by that? What is it that you're implying here?
I'm just trying to get a better understanding of our new arrival, you know, doing my due diligence as a proper court gentleman. We get so few travelers in these parts, and even fewer of them are as intriguing as you are.
That is quite the lie, now isn't it? Few travelers into this region? No. Come now, Draken. You think me a fool?
Of course not. In fact, I choose my words quite carefully.
Ah, so not travelers then. Captives or prisoners. Your choice.
Again, I reiterate, why waste your time with such trivial matters as Prescott, when clearly you are quite the perceptive one, aren't you? You could presumably accomplish anything you put your mind to. So that begs the question, what is it you're after exactly?
Why do you want to know, Draken?
Well, setting aside the farce, honesty is the only way one can properly aid you. So, if I don't know what your goal is, how can I, an interested party, be of any benefit to you?
She glares at him. I never asked for your help, and I don't understand why you want to be of any benefit to me, Draken. You and I don't seem to have much in common.
I disagree. I would say we have immensely common interests.
So tell me, what are those interests then?
You and I both wish to solve the same mystery. Initially, I'll admit, I was struck by your fiery personality and radiant looks. However, it is this air of mystery that surrounds you which captivates me.
She continues to play coy. The mystery that surrounds me? Are you talking about that ridiculous rumor your informants told you? What would that even have to do with you? The longer we talk, the more I feel that I seem to loathe men like you. Manipulative. And so prideful. Acting like you have all the answers and can do anything to anyone. I find myself despising you.
With this, Draken lets out a light chuckle, and his demeanor relaxes as if he's enjoying the conversation. My dear, I know I have all the answers. And in having all the answers, I also know that there are some things that are outside of my capabilities. In so saying, I know that you have abilities which could prove quite useful. And I believe that you have a goal or a desire which I could assist you in. At least so much more expeditiously than Sir Prescott could ever hope to do. He's nothing but an old fool grasping at straws. You and I both know that. And for your other point, you say you dislike manipulative people such as myself. And yet, isn't that exactly what Prescott is doing to you? Utilizing your abilities for his own benefit with nothing in return, seeing as there's no guarantee. Whereas for me, I could certainly aid you.
He says things that make some sense, okay? I will admit that. But still, he insults me every single time. This has been every interact. God. She sort of laughs to herself. So Prescott couldn't manipulate a dog on a leash, yet alone me. I am the one who has chosen to help him, to a certain extent, and he has given me some aid. But let us say, hypothetically, that you could help me. How exactly do you plan to do that?
Well, if these rumors are true, you are an individual who has lost her past. I have a far deeper net of resources than Prescott could ever even imagine. So much so that I could help you retrace your steps. Find out exactly where you lost yourself. But again, that is only contingent on honesty that is shared between us.
She considers this for a moment, but she'll keep her eyes locked on him. And again, she'll take in a deep breath and replies, "And you're saying that I'm not being honest with you? What about yourself? If I am being dishonest, then you are being far more so, dancing around subjects and topics, never answering directly. You have yet to answer me about these people you have taken, yet alone Prescott's niece. I'm assuming you're already aware of that. How can I trust you to not take me and lock me up or sell me as a slave, as you are likely doing with your captives?"
Madame, I have taken no people. Whether or not people under my control per se have done so is little concern of mine. As for the whereabouts of Prescott's niece, likewise, I would say that is no concern of mine. However, I've been immensely forthcoming with any question you have asked. Honesty is a policy of mine.
You continue to pressure me to come to your side and rely on you. Are you afraid that I might get in your way if I don't?
There are very few things that I fear. But I will give it to you that you would at the very least be an inconvenience. But more so, the reason why I made such hurried acquaintances with you is because I believe we would be far more useful allies to one another than enemies. Any other questions, concerns you have? As I said, honesty is my policy.
Yeah, Aurora's starting to grow more tired of this conversation. By this point, she's going to hope she can draw this event to a close, and she'll say, "The concerns are many. Questions also many. There's so much to ask and so little time."
How come? The evening is still so young, and we have quite an intriguing dinner before us. While I give you a moment to think of your own queries, I will again reiterate my own. Seeing as you have yet to answer me, what exactly are you hoping to achieve?
So much for giving her time. She rubs her left temple and then sighs. Not exactly sure of how to answer, because I'm also not 100%, but we'll go with this. That indeed is the question. Your persistence in knowing about my business is quite annoying. In all truth, I don't know, Draken. There's nothing that interests me here. I already said I have distaste for people who manipulate, especially of the weak and the meek, without truly giving anything they couldn't have already gotten on their own. Besides, I don't like you. I didn't like you the first moment we met. So I don't see how you and I can work together.
While you may have a distaste for arrogance, I must say, hypocrisy is very unbecoming of a lady. What exactly do you suppose you are doing besides taking advantage of the poor, weak man in the instance of Jonathan?
Ooh. Yeah, she breaks momentarily. There's just this look of rage and contempt that crosses over her face, and then she quickly tries to fix it and smiles. So, you are his curse's keeper, as I thought.
All I will say is news travels fast in town, and he scurried in quite a hurry out of the Broken Wagon Inn, ranting and raving about some ridiculously, immensely intimidating seductress.
Quite talented with the rhyming, are we not? But, yes, I knew I should have killed him when I had the chance. Drat. How unfortunate. Good help is so hard to find these days, isn't it, Draken?
I couldn't agree more, and yet I think you'd find that the pair of us would be quite more than helpful to one another.
You keep repeating yourself. I don't know what it is that you want from me, or what you think I'm able to do for you.
Aurora, if I may, I am intrigued by your situation. Your loss of memories is so profound, and its onset so sudden that you can't even truly remember where you're from. Such a deep, powerful magic. Now that is quite intriguing. That kind of power, enthralling. I'm curious as to where it came from, and if I were to find the source of it, perhaps we would be able to find where your memories are.
Yeah, no, that whole enthralling bit, yeah, no. By this point, Aurora's feeling very threatened by this, especially because Draken's only interest seems to be not in her as a person, especially because she recognizes him and she kind of like, yeah, he sort of recognizes her sort of thing, all right? I know that makes sense in my head, but I'm saying it out loud, all right? But the power of this magic that he's referring to is really what he seems to care about. Yes and no. No. In her mind, she doesn't trust that he would help her if he obtained it. Even if it were true that I am without my memories and am under some sort of spell, what makes you think that I would hand it over to you? That I would tell you or even help you? What benefit is there beyond getting these memories back? Perhaps they were useless, hypothetically, and held me back from what I truly needed to do.
Indeed, I find you can really see what is at the core of humanity when you strip away anything that may intrude on our natural inclinations. Though you may not know who you were, per se, you are now arguably more human than you've ever been. Now no longer under the persuasion and influence of others, perhaps you're even more yourself than you ever were. But this has led me to ask then, what is it you desire? I have been forthcoming with my interests, and nothing saddens me more to see the infinite potential of humanity wasted by a lack of ambition.
She is silently seething at this point. Seeing as that last statement was probably directed at her, and I'm going to take it that way because that's the only way that it could be taken. Aurora lowers her hands into her lap and then she clenches at the dress, attempting to maintain a neutral expression on her face. And she's thinking to herself, surely this man from my dream must have been an enemy. A premonition to avoid him, perhaps? She quickly stands up and then speaks quite curtly to him. You say I lack ambition. Very well. I shall tell you about my newfound ambition. I want power, Draken. Enough power to be above manipulation or approach. I'd rather be able to snap my fingers and have them fall to my feet and beg for forgiveness for challenging me.
With a smug and pleased grin, as it seems as Draken has gotten what he's wanted. He retorts, then it would appear as if our interests are aligned. Wonderful. Do you perceive that this desire of yours will be filled by your questing with Sir Prescott? I doubt it.
She takes in a deep breath and then sits back down.
An alliance with me, you need not fear. I have no qualm raising the wolf and sharpening its fangs for the potential of it to one day overpower me. In fact, I relish the type of competition. And in doing so, chasing after even greater heights, you would rise above so many that have come before you.
She turns her head and looks at the wolf next to her.
The wolf has been keeping his attention on Draken most of the night, but he does seem to notice your gaze and looks up at you.
Without turning her head back, she'll flash her eyes at Draken, and then she'll smile eerily and scoff. So, you think you can offer me power, and neither fear what I could become, or what could become of you? Very well then, Draken. You and I can have this alliance, but it would be wise to return Prescott his niece, unless you want him to continue pressing on this matter.
I said I have no qualm in you gaining power. Not that I didn't fear it. But I will share with you a bit of intrigue. I did come across some new information about a group of raiders last seen with Claire, and they will potentially be assaulting a nearby village sometime, maybe tomorrow. But it's one outside of the jurisdiction of this town, so unfortunately, seeing as I have no resources to spare, and the city's defenses can't be concerned with the matter, I guess we're just spread too thin. Though, didn't the Baron just issue a statement saying that Sir Prescott was free to utilize his task force any way he deemed fit? So, if you were to go there and address the situation, it would probably help you with your ongoing investigation.
I see. Out of curiosity, Draken, what are you doing here in this city? It's bleak, drab, and poor for a man like yourself. And she'll indicate around the room at all of the decor and clothing.
There's more to be gained than wealth.
From any given position.
Much like yourself. As I've mentioned, our interests align. I seek power. But power that goes far beyond my capabilities. Power like that is difficult to obtain. You must build it up, brick by brick. And pieces of this puzzle, that is what I have to gain here. As I mentioned, my enemies are vast and my allies too few. I am looking to rectify this.
You're not exactly a likable man. Perhaps it's your shirt. Or your personality. Honestly, it could be either. But only one of those could be fixed.
Unfazed by your playful jab, Draken seems to be enjoying the conversation. Hopefully you will take this evening and the information as a gesture of goodwill, in hopes that we will continue to have an open and cordial relationship in this alliance moving forward.
So then, how do you plan on us doing this?
He raises an eyebrow, seemingly questioning your intentions.
Listen, just because she was considered a seductress by one man does not mean anything. She blushes, slightly understanding now what she said, and she'll clear her throat. What I mean is, how do we proceed with this alliance? And how can I guarantee that you won't stab me in the back?
Guarantee. There are no guarantees in life. All you have are my word and my proposed interest in your situation.
That leaves her feeling uneasy. Like, what if he loses interest?
You must trust that my intrigue in you outweighs my distaste or fear. So, I would tread carefully and make sure that it stays that way. As matters proceeding, the gentleman that I sent for you this evening, he can charter you from location to location. I will be in correspondence with you via written word, and if you ever need me, you can head to the keep, speak with any of the individuals there, seeing as I advise in court. If there is anything you need from me, send a written request and leave it with the persons at the keep, and I will acquiesce within my capabilities. From time to time, you may find that there are certain matters that you may be able to assist me with, and if you do so properly, there shall be handsome rewards.
She's thinking to herself at this point, I would rather not work with this man. But if he is someone from my past and not an enemy, he may be useful. But if I am wrong, I could be walking into danger.
The first matter, which is again where our interests align, I would ask you to address the upcoming raiding party that will be attacking the nearby village. If you can make sure that this problem is dealt with by any means necessary, you shall be compensated and provided for however you deem fit.
The thought of actually being able to do something her way, without Draken there or really anybody telling her what to do, causes her to smile. An actual genuine smile, and it's kind of wicked looking though. Very well, Draken. And what direction do I need to go to find this raiding party? Or is this going to be in our correspondence?
I shall provide a written instruction and a map to your chauffeur. However, it is southeast of here, just outside the edge of the forest, as well as outside of the jurisdiction of this city-state.
You shall have your raiding party dealt with by my means. She relaxes slightly in her chair and then begins to pet the wolf and thinks to him. How do you feel, Wolf?
At the beginning of this evening, you sensed that his emotions were intense, on guard, protective for you, but now he's somewhat relaxed. But you can also tell that his worry is being overwhelmed with a sense that is hunger.
Yeah, she laughs in her mind to him and then thinks, eat.
Their wolf eagerly jumps up, standing from his place, and walks to the center of the table, putting his forepaws onto the table and grabbing an entire lamb's leg, which he then brings back to you and begins feasting on.
Yep, she's gonna maintain her composure. She's totally not hungry. Not at all, no.
Draken smiles and seems himself a bit more relaxed. Well, seeing as business matters have been attended to, perhaps you would like to dine. He stands up from his chair and begins walking in your general direction.
Yeah, no, she tenses up again and kind of unintentionally leans away from him. She's still cautious about him coming near her, especially because he seems to be a threat, at least more so than anyone else she's encountered.
As he approaches, you see him make a brief stop around about 2/3 of the way to you, leaning over and grabbing a basket of some sort, which was in arm's reach of you at all times, but he seems to bring it closer. He unveils the top cloth to reveal fresh baked bread rolls.
She looks at it confused.
Does she take one?
No. This
What?
entire time, she's been resisting
Really?
eating anything.
What?
Yeah. Number one, she didn't know what it would do to her. It could be poisoned. And he didn't eat anything yet, and he's offering her bread. That's suspicious. And number two, eating that would be like admitting defeat.
Roll a will save.
I already did. It was a natural crit,
Died.
plus my normal will, so you gotta understand.
Fine. He sighs. Your restraint is admirable, but also unnecessary. He sets the basket down after taking a bread roll himself, and it seems as if he begins walking towards the door. I'll leave you here for as long as you like. I can tell my presence uneases you still. Hopefully we can move past this, but for now, enjoy yourself. Stay as long as you like, and when you're ready to leave, the chauffeur will be waiting for you.
So he starts to leave.
He is currently exiting the door, grasping for the handle while simultaneously eating a bread roll.
Wow, that's a lot of actions he's doing there. What action economy does he have?
He has amazing action economy.
All right, well then she immediately stands up and begins walking towards the door to also leave.
Noticing that you are behind him, he opens the door and gestures for you to exit.
Yeah, she quickly walks past him, or at least tries to, and eyes him warily as she does. Although at this point, her stomach growls as she walks out. The dice have spoken.
You can see out of the corner of your eye as Draken smirks a little.
Pardon me.
Exiting back into the dark corridor, you do notice that the gentleman and carriage are once again out there.
Okay. Am I able to use detect magic?
Sure. Aurora, feeling uneasy about the appearance of this carriage after its initial sudden disappearance, you begin to focus on the nearby area. But upon activating the spell, you are immediately hit with an overwhelming presence. Numerous magical auras all surrounding you from every direction. It is so strong that you instantly get a nauseating headache.
She kind of stumbles back a little bit and loses her balance just from the sheer amount of pressure she's feeling.
As you stumble, you feel something grab one of your hands as to steady you.
Something or someone.
Taking notice, you see that Draken is supporting you and seems to be escorting you down the rest of the steps.
Initially she is somewhat surprised. Firstly, because he's actually doing something that is considered a nice act. And maybe this is an act of kindness that doesn't require some kind of repayment. I could be completely wrong. But then she pulls her hand away just as quickly. I don't need your help.
Then, at least, a word of advice. Be cautious with your proceedings. Some matters are better left unexplored, Miss Aurora. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There is nothing that I have not been forthcoming with, and honesty is my policy.
You've already told me how to contact you, Draken, and you know where I'm staying. If I have any questions, I'll follow your instructions. But I'd rather not stay here much longer, and hopefully we don't have to see each other too soon. I only have capacity for dealing with you this much.
And then she indicates a very small amount with her index finger and thumb.
He chuckles at this. Trust me, most people find me abrasive at first, but I tend to grow on you.
Like mold. Sleeps upside down in a cabinet. Passes her bacon. The bacon grew on her. The bread roll. As Aurora starts moving towards the carriage, her stomach growls a little bit louder, but she is still, she stops for a second, gathers herself together, and then gets into the carriage thinking, I really wish I had grabbed some food, but I'll make my way through this just fine.
You enter the carriage, and almost as you get situated, you are taken off. The door is shut by the chauffeur, and the carriage begins to lunge forward. But there is a problem. There is an immensely alluring smell wafting in this carriage, as you notice that there was a goodie basket left in here, filled with fresh bread rolls, well-cured meats.
She pulls out the black silk pouch that she received in the dream, and she opens it up, pulls it out, and it focuses on it and kind of thinks, I need to talk to you.
And with that, I believe that is where we're going to end this session of A Tale of Remembrance.
Thanks, Foundlings, for listening to this episode of A Tale of Remembrance. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a rating or review on whatever podcast listening app you're using, like Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the podcast in other ways, it's simple. Tell a friend, or send them to our website. If you're on our website while you're there, you could even consider picking up some merchandise. You can go to our website, which is missingroleplayerfound.com. That's missing, R-O-L-L, playerfound.com. If you want to support us more directly, you can consider donating to our Patreon, where you're actually going to get access to cool bonus content like GM notes, world building lore, bloopers, all kinds of things. Heck, I might even build you a character. And all of that finances actually goes directly back into the podcast so we can continue making more awesome content for you guys. Speaking of our awesome content, we want to give a big shout out and thank you to Michael Gelfi and Monumental Studios for allowing us to use their ambiance in music, which you hear each time, like in today's episodes. And finally, make sure you're following us on our social media accounts like Twitter and Instagram at RollFound. That way you can stay up to date on any announcements and news and posts we may make. Feel free to also join us in our Discord, where we'll also post all news and announcements, but you can also feel free to chat and hang out with us directly. You can find that link down in the description below. Well, that's it for me, Foundlings, and we'll see you next time on A Tale of Remembrance.